Hello everyone and welcome to Cricket World TV. Okay, it's time to look back at the highlights of 2009, some great matches, some great cricket. I'm delighted to welcome Alistair and John to the studio today to discuss this wonderful year of cricket. And JP, a lot of cricket this year, some outstanding highlights, batting and bowling, but today it's the turn of the batting ODIs. What have you got for us?
Well, very busy year indeed, wasn't it, 2009? Lots of ODIs played, so let's just get straight on with it. We're going to start off because Al's wearing a Sri Lanka hat. They seem to be in Sri Lankan blue as well. So
they had a great year, John.
They did have a fantastic year. Two performances in one game to pick out here. The first ODI between India and Sri Lanka in Rajkot. Tilakarani Dilshan, what a year he had, by the way. 10 international centuries. He scored 160 in 124 balls. Kumar Sangakkara, 1943 balls. This game was just one of those games that only comes around every sort of 5 years or so. India, 414 for 7. Sri Lanka, 411 for 8. It was a magnificent game. Those two really did stand out for me.
Yeah, Sri Lanka at the end just ran out of puff and unable to get those extra couple of runs, John.
It was absolutely epic. And one other Sri Lankan to talk about, Thilan Samarawira. A wonderful year on the field. 104 and 124 balls he scored in a game against New Zealand. It was a match-winning knock. It was his maiden century. I think he was the oldest player to score a maiden ODI century at the time. Very, very impressive the way he sort of come back into the team and really made his mark.
I think Sri Lanka really have shown what you can do with one-day cricket, haven't they? You know, from the top of the order all the way through, the way they play the game of cricket has just really, made it exciting to watch.
They've always been innovators, haven't they? Right back to the '96 World Cup, right back to the way that Dilshan now sort of plays. He scoops over his head. Really wonderful.
Shots all round the wicket.
Absolutely. Defines that nicely.
Al, you've got something there for us in your highlights of the year?
Yeah, some notable performances in the ICC Champions Trophy. O.A. Shah, fantastic 98 in 89 balls against South Africa. Graham Smith for South Africa, 144 against England. And Shane Watson, 109 not out against New Zealand.
And he's someone, for example, that's really taken his chance at the top of the order. And great technique anyway, but it wasn't really an opener to begin with. But in ODI, he's taken that forward and even into test matches now, so a good year for him.
Big game player. I mean, he scored that century against New Zealand, having already scored a match-winning century against England sort of 2 days earlier. That he really did have a fantastic tour. One other great game to talk about, Bulawayo, the game between Zimbabwe and Bangladesh. Don't always make the headlines, these two teams. This is a magnificent game because Zimbabwe batted first. They scored 312 for 8. Charles Coventry equalled the world record for a one-day international score, 194 not out, 156 balls, and he lost the game because Bangladesh chased down 313 for 6 with Tamim Iqbal, a new national record for him, 154 in 138 balls. I mean, I said a little bit earlier, didn't I, that perhaps that Sri Lanka-India game was the sort of game you only get once every 5 years. Maybe we were lucky we got 2 in 2009.
Absolutely right. Al, any more that have been highlights for you for the year?
In one-day cricket, batting, Paul Collingwood got 46 and 51 balls, again in the Champions Trophy against Sri Lanka, keeping England in it really, and you can't keep Sachin Tendulkar away. I mean, he scored an absolutely brilliant 175 against Australia in Hyderabad. So some top highlights there.
Just to say one comment there about Collingwood, of course, it's not always the Centurions that make batting performances of the year, because Paul Collingwood's innings was that important, as you say, it kept England in the competition.
Now, I've got one favourite. I was actually there at the ground, and I think you were, Jim, for a part of it anyway, was Ricky Ponting, 126 against England at Trent Bridge, and one great moment in that was when he just led back and just banged Ryan Sidebottom back over his head for 6, and we all knew then that game was up, and he went on to score a fantastic 100 and went 5-0 up against England in the ODI series.
Absolutely right. I mean, it was a huge 6. I think we're at the top tier of the Trent Bridge Pavilion, and it was, I think, absolutely right. I mean, as far as a moment goes and off the sweet spot, and that just went a long, long way. I think even Greg Norman would be pretty proud of that as a
I think even, certainly one of the shots of the year.
Okay, gentlemen, well, thanks again for your insight into the batting performances in ODIs this year, and we look forward to seeing you here again on Cricket World TV.